Hey everyone, welcome to this video titled Voting with Your Wallet. Today we're going to talk about the power of boycotts. Essentially, a boycott exists to inflict enough economic suffrage or losses on a target that they are essentially forced to change their course of action. It can be a form of consumer activism. Even many companies actually engage, I think, in a lot of kind of PR moves around this whole corporate social responsibility sphere to avoid this negative public exposure, because the last thing a company wants is a boycott. They are the most damaging form of activism that companies can face, and they are an approach that I recommend against 99 out of 100 times. Not all boycotts are effective or warranted, and they also end up just excluding large players from the table. I mean, this is the same reason why I also advocate against most divestment strategies, is because if you want to change the course of action of a certain company, it's much better to have them engaged at the table rather than antagonized and ostracized. That being said, there have been a number of grassroots-led boycotts that have been very, I think, appropriate catalysts for change from companies. So I'm going to walk through those, and then I'm going to talk just a little bit more about boycotts at the end of this. So the first campaign we'll look at is the one that was orchestrated between Nature Watch and The Body Shop. Nature Watch is an environmental advocacy group that had an 11-year campaign against The Body Shop for testing products with animals. After this sustained campaign and hundreds of emails to both The Body Shop and their parent company, Natura, Nature actually responded with a company-wide policy, basically showing that they would not have any products that had been tested with animals after March of 2013. They had a fixed cutoff date. The response was great between consumers, because it got The Body Shop more business and more consumer confidence moving forward. And Nature Watch actually rescinded their entire campaign, updated their website to acknowledge the response from Natura, The Body Shop, and to say they had actually unveiled what is the gold standard of kind of cruelty-free policies. Another example of a more recent campaign was one that was orchestrated by students against Fruit of the Loom. So back in 2010, Fruit of the Loom had closed down a Honduran factory because their workers had unionized. This, as far as I know, was the largest ever student-led and organized boycott against a company. It was over 100 different campuses that had orchestrated a boycott against Fruit of the Loom. Because it spread so quickly, the company actually quickly responded by reopening the Honduran factory, giving all 1,200 employees their jobs back. They awarded their workers $2.5 million in compensation, and they restored the union rights. So the last campaign that we'll look at is one that was orchestrated by Greenpeace back in 2008-2009 against Kimberly-Clark, which is the parent company of Kleenex. The campaign was designed to draw attention to Kimberly-Clark for their practice of felling ecologically important boreal forests in Canada for their tissue companies. At the time, Greenpeace did have a existing CSR strategy, a sustainability strategy in the company, but Greenpeace argued that this was greenwashing. So following a very strong boycott in 2008, Kleenex actually unveiled their new paper procurement policy that demonstrated how they would avoid their impact on ancient forests in North America. And what I like about this story is over the years, Greenpeace and Kimberly-Clark, which had a bit of a maybe fragmented relationship before, have actually formed a pretty formidable partnership right now. An article just came out in The Guardian called Greenpeace and the tissue giant Kimberly-Clark, From Enemies to Allies, and it's a joint interview of them just kind of going back about how their relationship has evolved over the years. These campaigns, all of the three campaigns I showed you before, I think they demonstrate that occasionally boycotts can be effective at changing corporate behavior. The reality of the situation, though, is that most boycotts actually lack a sustained effort. People lose interest, stop paying attention. Like I say, you keep those players away from the table if they are antagonized. And every year there are hundreds of boycotts that are called for, and very, very few accomplish anything. It's true that companies are influenced by consumer decisions, but in my view, I think a much stronger catalyst for positive change is consumer support for companies they like than consumers kind of boycotting those that they don't. So in the next video, I'm actually going to discuss how companies with a strong kind of performance across the triple bottom line will improve their revenue, improve customer loyalty, and also improve the talent that they attract to the companies. So I'm excited about that one. And again, if you have any questions, just send them to me.